Hi, my name is Dave and I'm an Uber driver. Well, I'm retired, but I drive Uber as well, just for fun. This is my usual ride. It's 2020 RAV4 and I'm very happy with it. It does a great job. But unfortunately, this past week, my wife had to do a run down to Miami. She needed this car, so I had to rent a car from Uber/Hertz, and I got a Tesla Model 3. So I thought I'd make a video, let you guys know what the Tesla is like and some of the problems I found with it. This is my other car. This is a 2018 Nissan Leaf, also an electric car. So as you'll be aware, I'm no stranger to electric cars. You've all seen a Tesla Model 3 before. I'm not going to bore you too much with the details. Let's just dive straight into it. It's a rental, so I don't have a problem with showing the license plate. One of the things that I do both on the RAV4 and on this, I do pickups occasionally up at Orlando Airport, and you get a long line of people standing there looking for the car that's picking them up. And of course, in Florida, there's no front license plate. So what I do is I print out my own Uber sticker for the window, and I put the license plate on it just to make it really obvious that that's the license plate, and at least they can see it from the front. When you pick up the Tesla from Hertz, they don't give you access to the Tesla app. They give you this key card, which you use to lock and unlock and start the car. You only get one of them. Look after it. They're expensive. To unlock the car, you hold it up against the camera. That folds out the mirrors, honks the horn, and the door is now unlocked. And you're ready to go. There's a few bits and pieces that I've added to the car to make life easier for Uber purposes, but let me just go over a couple of basic things to begin with. When you first get in the car and put your foot on the brake, that's the car started up. And you can see the top corner, the headlights, the seatbelt warning and so on, and it's ready to show drive. If for any reason you get out of the car, for example to help someone putting suitcases in the trunk or whatever, when you get back into the car, since you haven't just unlocked the car, it's already unlocked, the security will cut in, and when you try to move the car, now you're going to get this. You have to place the key, this key, down here under the armrest and press on the brake pedal at the same time. That now puts the car into driving mode. If you don't have the key, you can't do that. An actual Tesla owner will have the Tesla app, and the app will be installed on their cell phone, so the moment they get into the car will register the presence of the cell phone and automatically go into drive mode. They don't need to use that key business. But because Hertz won't give us access to the app, then you can't do anything with that. So let's go on to the bits and pieces that we use for Uber on a regular basis. The most obvious one being cell phones. Cell phone charging, there are two USB-C ports inside the front port here. One there, I don't know if you can see that. One there and one there. They are USB-C, which means your normal charging cable that plugs into your phone, USB-C, is fine. But the other end can't be USB 2. It has to be USB-C, both ends. If it isn't, that cable will not work. I added a bracket down here to support the cell phone. It's a cup holder bracket, and I found it very secure, and it means the phone is right underneath my hand when my arm is resting on the armrest. This area here is built-in wireless chargers for a cell phone. I've got a standard cell phone. It's a Motorola G4. No, G5, my mistake. It's a Motorola G5 with 5G. With the security case on it, so if I drop it, it doesn't break. It's too big to fit into those holders. And even if I take the security case off, so I've just got the bare phone, it won't charge wirelessly on that pad. Apparently there is a problem with those Tesla charging pads. I don't know, but basically that doesn't work. The other thing is, without the Tesla app, you can't send your Uber call directly to the navigation system. You can't connect to the map remotely, which means you have to plug in the address every time instead of having the app send it over. To get around that, I installed this device, which is a USB head for Android Auto, and that I have connected to my phone wirelessly using this device back in here, and that allows my phone to connect wirelessly to that head and display Google Maps on there, and I use that for navigation, ignoring this screen. Bit of a shame, but because it's a rental car, I can't use that screen. If you are the owner of the Tesla, then you can use the Tesla app, and you can link Google Maps directly to the Tesla app, and you can get the navigation to come up on your screen. To get around the charging, there is only one non-USB charging port on this, and it's in underneath the armrest down here, where there is a cigar lighter socket. So I use a double adapter like that one, so I can plug in both the Android Auto head and also a turbocharger for my cell phone to USB-C to charge the cell phone. The reason I use a turbocharger is because when I'm running Uber, I've got the Uber app, I've got Google Maps open, I've got Stride open, and they're all trying to access GPS at the same time. And I found if I'm just plugged into a standard power supply, it's not enough to keep the phone charged for an entire day. The phone will actually get lower and lower and lower on the battery because everything is eating it up full time and the screen is on full time. So I keep it plugged into a turbocharger just to keep the phone at least at a level charge. It doesn't increase the charge over the time, it will simply keep up with it. That's about it for my modifications for Uber. So let's go over some of the problems that I've seen with the car as regards Uber passengers. Okay, I'm back here at the RAV4 just to show you one of the features on the Tesla that is more of a problem than a feature. If you can imagine somebody walking up with, let's say, a purse, a diaper bag, and a small child on the other arm, and they've only got one finger available, that's all they need to open the door. One finger hooks into the handle, pulls it open, not a problem. On the Tesla, it's a problem because they come walking up and assuming they even know what they're doing, they look at the handle. So you push in and that releases the door, but it's already disappeared. You can't get one finger onto it. You've got to have more than one finger available to get hold of the handle. I've actually seen some passengers get it as far as that and then get hold of the door back here on the edge of the door and pull it from there in order to open it. That's a problem. Yeah, if I could replace that with a regular loop handle that they can actually get hold of, it would probably be a lot easier. Space in the back, I'm 6'4", so there's not a lot of space behind the driver. There's a bit more space on the passenger side. I could run the passenger seat further forward and give more space, but other than that, it's not too bad. Another problem is this faux leather cover on the back seat. I had a rider who spilled a little bit of Coke on it, and it caused a shiny, sticky stain that required a lot of scrubbing to get off. You really need to put some cloth covered or some cloth seat protectors on there, some seat covers. The seat belt, as you can see, it's recessed into the seat except for the center, and that is not a lot of space. I get some larger people that get in and they have a lot of trouble fastening that seatbelt because that seatbelt buckle is actually under their butt when they're sitting down. There are also USB-C connectors back here to connect into. The rear AC on this actually works and works well, so it does put out a fair amount of air, but that restricted space in the back, that's a problem. Going back to the RAV4, it's a little dark in here, but you can see I've already got the seat covers on there. The seat belt is a bit easier to get hold of. This seat is maybe 3 inches wider than the one in the Tesla, which makes it a little more comfortable. It's got USB 2 slots down there to plug into, and I always run a couple of cables back as well. One other thing I've done here is remove the passenger side headrest so that somebody sat in the rear passenger seat can see over the seat and out the front, and that helps to alleviate people that have car sickness, because it means they can actually see out the front instead of out the side, which is what makes them dizzy in the first place. For trunk space, there is a fair amount of space in there. It's not too bad. There's also more space below that floor panel. I've added a throw rug in there and literally trapped the edge of the rug under the edge of that panel. The panel is just holding it in place just so it doesn't come out, just so this will cover the back bumper when putting suitcases in and out, so it doesn't scratch the paint. It's a rental car and I've got to return it without scratches, so it's just a cautionary tale. The trunk opens and closes automatically. Do not let people push the trunk closed manually. It will damage it. I saw this from somebody else's video, and they actually got it from a Tesla developer that said that the trunk is not designed to be pushed manually, open or closed. So make sure that they only close it and open it electronically. Don't let them do it manually. This means you've got to get out of the car to make sure that they open and close it properly. This means you have to use that key swipe every time with that card in order to restart the car into motion. On the bright side, this does mean that you can get out of the car, walk around to the back, help them getting in, all the rest of it, and nobody else is going to be able to jump in the car and take off with it just because it appears to be running and the door's wide open. Without that key card, they can't put it in drive. They can't go anywhere. So at least it's secure as far as that's concerned. That's the one bright side to it. But other than that, thoroughly enjoy the car. Love the range on it. 260 miles, 270 approximately, depending on how you drive. Well, compared to my Leaf, which is only 150 miles range, which is why I'm not using that for Uber. But it does mean I've got some experience with electric cars and charging the cars. And I'll go over charging very quickly for you in just a moment. Okay, for charging, some of the rental cars will come with a charging kit, with a cable, connector, and so on. Some will not. New Teslas do not come with this cable. If it does come, be careful, because Hertz actually put a label on this. $275 for the cable and $95 for the adapter. So let me show you what you get when you do get one. This is your standard 3-pin plug for 110 volts and adapts to connect into the charging box here. It replaces this one, which is already plugged in there, and that's your NEMA 1450 220 volt outlet, or 220 volt plug for the receptacle. The other end of the cable is your standard Tesla charging connection, and if you look at the end of it, that is specific to Tesla. That will only fit a Tesla. It will not fit into any other vehicle. That's also what you'll find at the superchargers. The adapter they're talking about is this thing. And that's the Tesla end of it that plugs into your car. The other end is to go into a J1772 plug. What is a J1772 plug? Well, as I said, I have a Nissan Leaf, and I have my charger plugged into the wall here, and this is the J1772 plug that plugs into the car. Notice the end is distinct. It's different from the Tesla connection. That Tesla adapter plugs onto this so that you can plug this into the Tesla, and yes, you can charge from any EV charger into a Tesla using that. One thing I will note is missing here is the CCS adapter. The CCS adapter is used at a lot of the other charging stations, the high-speed charging stations, EVgo, Electrify America, and so on. They have CHAdeMO, which is the high-speed charger for the Leaf. They have J1772. They have some Tesla connectors, and the majority of them are CCS connectors. CCS is very similar to the J1772, but it has an extra 2 pins here at the bottom where my thumb is. This adapter will not work on a CCS connector. You have to have the correct CCS adapter for it. So if you don't have that connector, you cannot use a CCS charging station. Don't worry, there's plenty of Tesla stations out there. As I mentioned a while ago, charging using a supercharger, which uses the Tesla connection, will give you power back into the car at a very high rate of speed. But let's base that on something. Let's take the average internal combustion engine or ICE car. Let's assume 30 miles to the gallon for 270 miles, which is the range of the Model 3. That would take 9 gallons of gas. At $3.50 a gallon, that's going to cost you $31.50. If, on the other hand, you charge at a supercharger, your battery capacity on a Model 3 on this model is 60 kilowatts, and the supercharger costs 35 cents a kilowatt for a total of $21 for the same 370 miles. So you're already making money there. But let's take that up a step. Now we can use that charging unit that I showed you that comes with the car, assuming that you get one. And now you'll see why it's important to have it. You get home at the end of the day and you go to bed, get 8 hours sleep, leaving the car plugged in to charge up. So your battery capacity for the same distance, still 60 kilowatts per hour, but it's now 9 cents a kilowatt. It's going to cost you a total of $5.40, but you're going to charge the car overnight. It's going to take longer, it's going to take 8 hours. But you know what? You're saving 25 bucks and you're sleeping during that period anyway. By the way, going back to the supercharger, 20 minutes is not a long time. When you think about it, you park the car, you walk inside, you go to the bathroom, you get a cup of coffee, maybe a sandwich, you walk back out, the car's ready to go. It's ready almost as quick as you are. So to sum up, is it worth it? To me, not really. The Tesla is a great car, and I would love to be able to use it for Uber. I'd probably go for something like a Tesla Model X, which is the SUV version. It's a little bit higher, a little bit more legroom, a little bit more space. But yeah, you could feasibly use a Model 3 and it really wouldn't be a problem. The car itself, I love it. It's wonderful. It really is. And saving the extra money, the extra $25 a day just on charging compared to gasoline costs. And don't forget, you get an extra $1 from Uber for every trip for using an electric car. So yeah, it mounts up. I mean, it's quite a bit of money extra, so it would be feasible to do in the long run. However, the rental, the weekly rental, and here in Florida they're charging, I think it's $350 a week to rent the car. $350 is $1,400 a month. You know what? I could buy one for less than that. Payments on a purchase of a brand new Model 3, you're probably looking somewhere in the region of $800, $900 a month. That's less than what they'll be charging on rental. So yeah, I'm already paying insurance on the other cars, so it's, you know, whatever. The car, if I were to buy one, it would replace the other car, so I'll be paying the insurance on this one instead of that one. So there's, you know, it really works out better for me if I were to buy one rather than rent one. However, I need to rent a car for this week just to have something to use, and I got to use a Tesla. It's been a great experience, and I hope you guys have as much fun as I did. Thanks for watching. You have a great day. Bye bye.